my name is Amanda Farrish. I'm a 2021 graduate of the University of Connecticut School of Law, and I came to law school after a pretty extensive career in something else. I was a conference planner, conferences and live events, that sort of thing, and kind of came to Legal Innovators because I'm a non-traditional student and a non-traditional career path, and that's how I ended up here. So I had a very extensive career in another field. I ran a conference and trade show in the ticketing and live events industry, and for a long time, for 7 years, it was middle management, and decided to go to law school. It was time to do something else. Law school was always kind of back of mind. And coming out of law school, especially with COVID, with the pandemic, the timing of it was not great. And then I also found that because I had such an unusual resume, that I had a hard time explaining it. I had a hard time showing how the skill sets that I had from what I did before are applicable to being an attorney. And sort of, I would go into OCI and things like that, and people just kind of didn't know what to do with me. And so I was talking to my career services pretty extensively, and they're the ones who suggested the Legal Innovators program to me. I think because it itself is kind of a new non-traditional model. I think it fits for somebody who doesn't fit the traditional model. Also because of the pandemic, I should have mentioned my summer was canceled. So my 2L summer I had one lined up, and was something that probably would have been a job after graduation, but it was canceled because of COVID. It was summer 2020. And I think because Legal Innovators is a new way of looking at legal recruiting and a new timeline that also fit with COVID, which created a new legal timeline for recruiting, especially for my class 21. So I think it just all worked out, I guess. So first is the training is invaluable. I have found coming into my placement that I have a lot more tools that a lot of my peers don't have because we did the very extensive training. And, that support and that being set up for success in a way that I think not everybody is when they first come out of law school is really invaluable. And then number two is the people. Like the people are, both the Legal Innovators, team and the people leading the training and all that, but also the other Legal Innovators participants. There are 4 of us here in New York, and we're a pretty tight group. And that support and having a class, it is really invaluable too. So for us, it was mostly virtual. I'm assuming it will be in the future too, but I think because we did so much of law school virtually, that wasn't really a barrier. One of the things we tried to do during training was we would meet up and have meaning the participants, the Legal Innovators class or whatever, for lack of a better term. We would meet up for virtual lunch, separate from the training, and kind of get to know each other that way. And then so when we finally did get to meet in person, those of them who I have met in person, it was like we already knew each other. It was like we were already friends. It's gone very well. They really don't, there's no treating us any differently. There's no, the expectations are the same. The integration into the team is the same. I've gotten to know people. Much of my placement was also remote. So definitely tried to make an effort of getting to know people without being in the office, which takes some effort. But I definitely think it has gone really well. I feel like a part of the team. I feel like I'm really getting to integrate it into how things work. I would say, I think, I'm a second career. This is my second career. And part of that is that's a bigger adjustment than I was expecting it to be, but it's also more useful than I was expecting it to be, and useful in different ways. Things as basic as I'm used to getting a lot of emails all the time, and that doesn't overwhelm me in a way that I think it might have if I had become an attorney right out of college, if I hadn't taken that time. And so we're all a product of all of our experiences, but I would say for me, having had professional experience before going to law school, before becoming an attorney, has been really invaluable.